If there is one driver that we're more than eager to see where he'll end up in 2023 and if he'll actually receive an F1 spot in the future, that has to be Nyck De Vries. The Dutchman had an amazing debut in Monza with Williams, and it's something that made us think as to why F1 teams were waiting for so long to sign this gem of a driver. He won the F2 Championship with Alpha GP in 2019, won the Formula E Championship in 2020-21 with Mercedes, and is now looking to make it into the big stage. Little did he know that so many options will be available for him right after his first F1 career race, and the latest one is probably the most potential and most attractive one. Why is De Vries a good choice for Alpha Tauri? Is there a chance that the team will let Gasly because of De Vries? Stick around with us to find out more. It's not a secret that De Vries impressed the F1 world in his first race. There are a couple of factors that are adding to this narrative, such as the fact that he only got to drive the Williams car in FP3 and then go on to finish P12 on Saturday's qualifying session, just to start P8 due to 4 drivers taking engine penalties and lining up behind the Dutchman. Many F1 fans and Williams fans in particular have started chants on Twitter regarding the replacement of Latifi even prior to the Singapore GP. Speaking about his first race in F1, De Vries was full of excitement and praise for Verstappen, who gave him a piece of advice regarding how he should feel in the first race, adding, "First of all, enjoy it, and don't think or stress about it too much. I remember my first race in Australia 2015. It happened so quickly, but I think more broadly, if you just tell yourself, we'll see what happens, instead of really stressing out about, I need a good start or I need a good first lap, it's much better. You shouldn't think about that, and I think you handled everything really well. But yeah, it's nice. We know each other really well, so it was just a quick little motivation speech," said Verstappen. The same was said by De Vries' side, who added, "He was kind. We had some messaging last night, even this morning. Lewis congratulated me. They've all been very supportive and very kind. Max just came to me and said, it's going to be fine, it's good to be good, you will be fine. Just have a good start and get through. So I appreciate the support, and also very thankful to all the fans who voted me as Driver of the Day," finished De Vries. Jos Capito spoke about De Vries' debut in Williams and about the chances of whether he is able to join Williams in near future or not, adding, "He did an absolutely outstanding job and I rate him extremely high. That's why my expectations are extremely high, and he overfulfilled these. It's so difficult to get in that car to race for 2 hours and do the qualifying and not doing any mistake and not driving on its own. He had to defend, he had to attack, he had to get lapped and not doing a mistake, then he had to do the pit stop. It's just so complicated. And it's an outstanding job," said Capito, who also spoke about the contractual situations of De Vries. "I don't know, you have to ask him what his contractual situations are. You've just seen how messy it can be, and we're not known for being messy. I'm not doing hypothetical things, so I'm only interested in facts. If the facts are there, then there might be solutions," finished Capito. However, that doesn't seem to suit De Vries now because so many options have opened up for him. For example, Red Bull has called off Herta's test in Alpine amid talks that the USA-based driver would join Alpha Tauri in 2023, with Gasly going to Alpine. It seems like the FIA is not willing to grant Herta the super license because many F1 teams and bosses will protest this move due to the fact that there are so many drivers with super license that are waiting to line up in an F1 team. However, it seems like De Vries is heavily related to Alpha Tauri now as we speak. He and Helmut Marko were seen together in Graz, Austria, in what could be a potential talk about the Alpha Tauri seat and Gasly's replacement. Although Red Bull didn't want to talk about Gasly's replacement if the seat isn't substituted by Colton Herta, it seems like they're finally willing to let go of the Frenchman and let him perform in a top team such as Alpine. With that being said, how real do you think that De Vries is coming to Alpha Tauri is? After all, he is very close to Verstappen, and it's very likely that Alpha Tauri will build a profile for De Vries for a future F1 profile. That's the sole purpose of Alpha Tauri, and we've all seen what kind of drivers have been delivered from this academy. However, De Vries isn't as young as the other drivers who joined Toro Rosso prior to hopping in an F1 seat such as Verstappen, Vettel and Ricciardo. Still, this shouldn't be an excuse for the team to not chase De Vries for Alpha Tauri's starting spot. When De Vries spoke about his future, he said that nothing much could be done when it comes to proving himself out there, as he added, "I wouldn't build my future on solely hope and on the volatility of this paddock. But at the same time, it's a dream I'd like to fulfill, and I also think I deserve an opportunity, so I will be judging the opportunities carefully in the upcoming time and then decide what is ultimately best for my career. I don't have a management, not really officially as such, but time will tell. I don't know, it's out of my hands. It's not in my control. Obviously it's a dream and I think I would deserve a chance, but ultimately it's not up to me to decide driver lineup. I mean, I don't have to sell myself. I've won certain things. I've been given the opportunity to participate in some of the FP1s. I deserve a chance. But it's not always just about what you've shown or what you've done. You need a bit of momentum, the timings need to be right. There needs to be a place. It's just purely based on what you've done in the past, finished De Vries. On top of this, Toto Wolff also spoke about De Vries, and he does know a thing or two about the Dutchman since he won the Formula E Championship with Mercedes and the Formula 2 Championship too. This is why Wolff thinks that De Vries deserves a spot in the team, and it's very unclear to him as to why this still hasn't happened. I think what else should he do in terms of performance than what he's shown today? No training, he jumped in a car that he hadn't driven straight into FP3. Yeah, it shows what he's capable of doing, finished Wolff. Another thing that's very important to mention is that De Vries was highly against the FIA's granting of super license towards Colton Herta. He said that it would make the sport lose the principles that it was carefully built on, as he also added that he believes the governing body will do the right thing. This is very important because as of now, it seems like Herta and De Vries are fighting for the same starting point in F1 from 2023 and beyond, and that seat is likely to go to the Dutchman since the FIA won't step down from its original beliefs. De Vries added, "I trust the governing body. I think rules are there to be respected. There are plenty of other drivers in the market that have super license points. The necessity is not necessarily that high to go and give someone dispensation to get a super license. Plus, in my own opinion, it would give an incorrect precedent and example to the Formula 2 and Formula 3 championships," said Nyck. He also spoke about the investments that are made in F3 and F2, as we all know that there are drivers that are backed up by senior F1 teams on the battlefields, and every team is trying to groom the perfect talent and find the perfect driver for the future. According to Nyck, American drivers will be much more motivated to join F3 and F2 if Herta was allowed to race there. The knock-on effect would be much greater than just giving dispensation. First, because there would be many more knocking on the door for a certain request. Secondly, you could argue that people going from Formula 4 to Formula 3 could decide to escape to the US, because in Indy Lights you only have 12 cars on the grid and it's much easier to score points, and then you can come back. Then you almost kill and jeopardize the ladder we've been building over the years, which now is so nice. I compare our platform to what we see in MotoGP 3 and 2. There is a clear ladder, a clear path to Formula 1, so it would be a shame if we jeopardize our system, and I also think it's unnecessary, finished Nyck. With that being said, how possible do you think it is for De Vries to join Alpha Tauri? Do you think that the sport will be in a better place now that De Vries has shown he can score points in a piece of machinery that isn't performing that well? In fact, with the worst machinery in F1 as we speak? Let us know in the comments below.